Hey guys, this is Kevin Triforce, and this is my review for The Legend of Korra Book 4 Balance Chapter 2, Korra Alone, which shares its namesake with Zuko Alone, both being about Zuko and Korra going on their own journeys. And in this case, it shows us what's happened in the past 3 years. Now, Korra Alone might just be my favorite episode of the whole series, just because of what it did for Korra's character. I think it was really phenomenal, honestly. I can see why IGN gave it a 10. It was really good. I'd seen part of it from the New York Comic Con stream. They streamed some of it. I don't know if they streamed all of it, because when I checked their backlog, it only showed like half of it, maybe. But it was really good once I saw the full thing the next day. So we start out with where we left off in the last episode with Korra having gotten beat up. She leaves and goes to the bathroom, it sort of looks like, to heal. And then another guy knocks on the door, so she leaves because he needs to use it or in the bathroom or whatever. She's being told to hurry up. Then she sees this image of herself from when she fought Zahir, because she's still kind of got she's got post-traumatic stress disorder. That's what it seems like to me. She's still got her inner demons, or inner battle with herself, I guess. So, and then afterwards, because she tries to attack it, but obviously it doesn't work because it appears at first to be in her head. I'll explain what I mean by that later. And then we're showing a flashback, and this clip was posted, one of the first ones it posted actually for Book 4. It shows her leaving to go to the Southern Water Tribe right after the end of Book 3. And then we see her go back to the Southern Water Tribe, and she has nightmares about her fight with Zahir, of course. And then, for a while, she just is resistant and kind of a loner. She does write she gets mail from Bolin, Mako, and Asami. And she only feels like really writing to Asami because of how close she is with her, I guess. Well, yeah, how close she is with her. And it's really nice. It is. I feel like it. And, Bolin's is really funny. I really liked what they did with that, because each character tried to write to her, and you got to see the characters in the situation writing to her, and I thought it was interesting. Then we see her mom says she needs to go see Katara. She should go see Katara to help with her healing. And so she does. And then we see, at first, Katara talks with her, and then they put her in the healing water, and then Katara does some healing with her, and then she tells her to start, she basically explains that she can overcome this, and that it's kind of like how Aang had to deal with the genocide of his people, losing the people he knew in the Air Nation. And I thought it was interesting, and I liked the callback to Avatar: The Last Airbender, and there's a big one at the end of this episode, but it was interesting. And then it goes into start with moving your big toe, which I understand is a reference to some other stuff, but I know one big example was Kill Bill. But I don't know if that one was necessarily an Easter egg to that, or just a nod to other stuff that had that too. But I know that was one that I know it was like that. And she does. And it's really neat. And I like how real they make her healing process. It reminded me of seeing something like that in real life. And I thought that was really neat. It added a lot to it. Then they start with walking. They try to get her to walk to Naga. She struggles because she sees the image of her fighting Zahir, But then she gets back up and she walks to Naga. Dee Bradley Baker is so great as Naga and Pabu and all those animals, but it just makes Naga adorable in that scene. I'm such a huge dog lover, and even though it's a polar bear dog, it's such an adorable scene. Cute, I don't know what word you would use, but seriously, that was a really good scene. Then, she's still struggling bending-wise, I would say, but she can basically kind of walk. She can walk now. Then we see she responds to Asami and says she doesn't feel like writing to the other two. Then she says she wants to leave and go to Republic City, which we know she doesn't, but to see her friends. And then her dad at first says they get a White Lotus ship ready, but then she said she wants to go on her own. So she does, and then Naga's sad, she leaves, and it's kind of sad. Then we see her go to this island. I don't know if it's in the Earth Kingdom. I think it is. But, wait, is that before? Yeah, she goes to the island first. And you see this guy who's got a picture of Aang, and he's doing a pose that he did one time to impress Katara, and then another time with that foaming mouth guy scene in Kyoshi Village where he's showing them he can bend air. And I thought it was really neat. It showed Aang still had his kid-like personality. Then, because he has a wall of avatars, is what he calls it, and he named it was like fish, one of his fish rolls or whatever, after Aang, even though it had no meat or whatever. Or it had meat, I don't know. It had meat or something like that, even though, whatever. Then, these bandit-like characters, these like bandits or something like that, kind of raid that area a little bit, and this woman says, Avatar, I need your help, and Korra actually gets beaten by them. She's defeated. I thought that was interesting. It shows she's not completely healed yet. Then she journeys on, and she actually does go to Republic City, but she sees that figure of her from 3 years ago, so she doesn't go to Republic City. She leaves. She goes to the volcanic area, the desert. Well, before the desert, she goes to the spirit portal and she has to go to the Tree of Life to reconnect with Rava, and it's revealed through these spirits that her Rava energy isn't. They don't feel her Rava energy, so I found that interesting. Because it showed that she's not completely healed, so she's not connected with Rava, of course, because of the poison and the injuries she had. But mainly the poison, of course. The injuries were from that, so, And then she goes to the desert, and she sees a mirage of Rava, and she tries to run up to it. It is sad, because it's not really Rava, of course. Then we see her go to some volcanic area, and scenes like that. I can't remember if there was an Earth area, but I remember a volcanic area after that. And then we see her end up at the fighting arena. But we see different this time is her. She wanted to fight, of course, and she saw the Avatar spirit still there. That's why she wanted to go fight there. And then we see that what happened last episode, she wasn't just fighting that opponent we saw. She thought it looked like her spirit, the image of her from when she fought with Zahir. So that was interesting, because she's still kind of battling an internal battle with herself, internal struggle. Well, battle or struggle with herself. And really gets that point across. Then this dog finds her and basically wants her to follow her. And then this is where this comes up. They actually run into that image of Korra I mentioned, and the dog can actually see it, begging the question, this is more than just a hallucination from Korra. This could actually be a type of spirit, in a way. And then we're taken to the swamp, which has been confirmed by Mike and Brian, the co-creators of Avatar, that this was a swamp from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the spirit. It's revealed the dog is actually the spirit, one of the spirits from the Tree of Time, Life. I think it was Life. No, it was Time, in the spirit world near the portals. And where Vati was sealed from book 2, obviously, and where her harmonic convergence occurred. But she says there's someone she might be looking. There's someone she needs to maybe look for in the swamp, and then she has to struggle and basically fight with the Korra spirit type. I'm just gonna call it a spirit because they keep saying it's the Korra when she fought Zahir. It's getting repetitive, but the Korra spirit she's fighting with. Basically, she's having other hallucinations in the swamp when she's fighting with it. And she gets sucked into this, what looks like the poison, but it's an illusion. And she passes out. And then who finds her but none other than Toph? I got so excited when I saw Toph. And I really enjoyed that. And then she calls her Twinkle Toes, and they talk. And she goes, nice to see you again, Twinkle Toes. And I love that. They really ended it perfectly. I really don't have any complaints with this. Maybe I would have liked a little bit more. We learned enough that we need to, and I forgot to mention as well one part before she goes to the spirit portal and stuff like that. She cuts her hair because it looks like her new design. I don't know which one I prefer. I do like her with longer hair, but she doesn't look bad with shorter hair either, actually. So I'm fine with it. I prefer I don't prefer the shorter hair. I do prefer the longer hair, but I get it. It's fine. I like her Earth outfit though. I thought that was really neat. I like how they designed that. I mean, other than that, I don't have any complaints. I can see why IGN gave it a 10. I would give it a 9.5, lowest 10, the highest. So 9.5, 10. I'd probably give it a 10. Yeah. I do think it was one of the best, if not the best episode in the series. I really enjoyed it. I think the Toph moment was perfect. And you could see the kind of Star Wars references in there with her fighting herself in the swamp like Luke. And then Toph kind of being like Yoda, which I'll go into more depth about that in my episode 3 review. So yeah, I really thought that was interesting. So that's really... Excuse me, I burped. That's really all I wanted to say about this episode. This is Kevin Triforce. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys in the next review.